Hello and welcome to step 8 of stage 2. You know the drill. Open, 8, open. So within this step we're going to show you how to create some lines and create line types and show you how to do some call out details. So to get started we're going to go over to our project browser and double click on level 3. And then we're going to press WT on our keyboard and then ZA, and I would like you to zoom in slightly on your 3D and rotate it so it's pretty much like this. And then going back to your level 3 plan, I'd like you to center on the front facade of the middle building. Now from here I'm going to show you the difference between a model line and a detail line. So if we go up to our architectural tab and then smack bang in the middle where it says model, I want you to choose model line. The user interface will go green, and we're going to change in the options bar, we're going to change the placement to level 3. Now in your level 3 drawing area I would like you to pretty much follow what I'm doing, and we're going to do a bit of a zigzag. And we're going to go like this, a couple of clicks, and then press escape twice, and then I'd like you to go over to your 3D window, and if you can center on the pivot of the model line that we've just created, and you will see that it's in 3D and it's placed on level 3. Now the good thing about model lines is that they can be used as sketchy items, so to speak. So for example, if we were wanting to do a pipe layout or a duct layout for our MEP designers, we can use this model line tool to indicate where we would like piping to be, and then they can actually follow this path accordingly as you've set it out. But the great thing about model line is you can also make them into detail lines. So if you select all lines that you've sketched, the user interface will go green, and we have a little convert button right at the top. The second you press this button, we get a little warning saying Revit has converted 6 lines, but you will notice that in our 3D that they are not there. They have completely and utterly disappeared because they are now not physical elements, so to speak, within the model. They are now just 2D lines. But we can also change them back. So if you highlight them all and convert the lines again, it will say Revit has converted 6 lines, and in our 3D they are now back on level 3. Now if you're wondering exactly where the detail lines are, I can show you. It's quite simply under the Annotate tab, and you will see here under details lines. So if we choose that tool, and if we pretty much kind of echo the same design directly below it, once you've done that press escape twice, you will see that we have one model line, one detail line, and then if you go to the 3D you will notice that the detail line is not shown in 3D. Now just like I showed you with the model line to be converted into detail line, you can also do that with the detail line. So you can select all the detail lines and convert them. Once you do that, you will notice in your 3D that we have the echoed version as well. So once you've done that, I'd like you to press escape and go over to your project browser and double click on section 1. I'd like you to maximize section 1 by pressing TW, and I'd like you to zoom in pretty much to the level 2 exterior wall detail. Now to create a call out of this area, if we go up to the View tab, and directly under the tab you'll see a little button that says call out. I'd like you to press that, and the user interface will go green, and what I want you to do is from left to right I want you to pretty much draw a rectangle halfway through the window and equal amounts below the floor builder. Once you've done that, click again, and if you highlight the actual region of the call out, we can actually change the height of the call out head, And then if you click on negative space to enter the call out, just like you can with a floor plan, just like you can with a section, you can double click on the head and it will bring you to that view. And you'll also notice that it has also arrived in our project browser under sections, section 1 call out, so it's automatically renamed itself. Now obviously most call outs are larger than 1 to 50 scale, so they usually jump from 1 to 10, 1 to 20, etc., 1 to 5. We're going to make this at 1 to 10. As soon as you do that, you will notice that our grid lines have become smaller and our level lines have become smaller. But obviously, now that we're zoomed in further, we actually need to make more of a finer detail. So we go down to our graphic attributes bar and put it on fine. And then if you zoom in a bit, you see that we show the insulation, the concrete, the floor build up, the window sill, the window build up itself. If you hover over the actual crop region, you'll notice that we have little zigzag symbols on all 4 sides. If you press the top one on the right, the crop region has split and you have some little arrows to bring them up or down. Or you can actually get the little pips or the little dots and bring them down. So depending on where you want your section to be, so if you want it to be only at the sill detail of this window and you want to show the floor build up of this, the best way to do it is to bring the crop region up, and you can pull them apart and make them work accordingly. Additionally, if you would like to hide any of your construction lines, whether that be the grid line or the floor level, you can select both of them. You can right click, you can hide in view, and you can hide by element or category. Or additionally, you can go to your visibility graphics by pressing VG, going to the annotate tab. If you select G, it should dump down to the generic annotation, and just 2 below that there's grid, so you can turn them off here. Or levels, pressing L, we'll jump down to levels and then press apply. That information will disappear. Now once you've done that, I'd like you to go up to the manage tab, and then you'll see a little spanner, and we want to choose that, additional settings, and we're going to go down to line styles. A new window will open, and we're going to create a new category, so we press new, and let's just call this MB for moisture barrier. Press OK. You will notice that the new line has arrived. We're going to change this to dashed, and then we're going to change the line weight to 3, and then once you've done that, press OK. I'd like you to zoom in to the floor build up just around the insulation area, and then I would like you to go to the annotate tab, then detail line, and then the user interface will turn green, and if we choose the line style, you'll notice that MB is in there, so we'll select MB, and then pretty much in the center of the build up that's above the insulation at the top, we click once and we'll go all the way over to the other end and click again. Then if you're on a line chain, you need to press escape, and then we'll do exactly the same again on the other part of the insulation in the middle. At the base, click once all the way to the end and click again, and you will notice that we put a moisture barrier above and below our insulation. Now if you're wanting to see this in stronger line weights, press escape to finish the command, and then press TL for thin line, and it will make it thicker. If you press it again, TL, it will make it thinner. This is also available right at the very top in the quick options bar, where you'll see 3 lines at 3 different line weights. So to the left of the button there are thicker lines, and to the right of the button there are thinner lines. It is important to note that when you do detail lines in a BIM model, that only affects the view. This is not true BIM. If you were truly going to show this in every single section and every single detail, it is advised that you model that. Now most people will say that, well, a moisture barrier is no more than 0.5 millimeters thick. Well, you know, even if you made the moisture barrier 1 mil thick, the tolerances are so small it shouldn't make any difference. I'll go into this in further detail in another video. Now if we wanted to change some of the line weights in this section, we will go up to the Manage tab and the same button before, the little spanner, additional settings, and we'll go one more line down, which is line weights. A new window will open with many different line weights, and it's all relative to individual scales. You can edit and manage these and add additional line styles. It is advised that you really don't muck around with this. If you are creating a office Revit template or a template for your office, it is advised you never touch this, because this would have been preset to your company's specifications. But for now, if we just select number 3, and at the 1 to 10 you can see it says 0.35. If we just make that 0.3, so change the 5 to a 0 and then press apply and then OK, we have some small changes on our section. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to override the host levels for this view. So if we press the VG on our keyboard, and you will notice in the bottom right we have override host layers. So if you tick that and then press edit, a new window will open showing pretty much the structure, the substrate, the thermal, the finishes. If we change the substrate number 2 to 1 and the thermal air layer to 1 and the finishes to both 1, and then press OK and then apply and then OK, and if we press the TL on our keyboard you'll see it's thinner, but if we press TL again you'll notice that the line weights are now thinner for our substrates and our structure, and our individual lines that we drew are more prominent. Again, 2D lines are not advisable within a BIM project. The only time you would really use this is when you are not doing a BIM project and your deliveries are only for drawing reasons only. Okay, this concludes this stage. So I'd like you to close call out 1, level 3, section 1, the 3D view, and do not save.